am headed down to the city to meet Quinn to see Billy Donovan's tank and give an update on that and show the progress and everything we do to maintain that aquarium for him. Crazy to think it's already been 4 years since we set that up, and a lot of the cichlids have grown really big. I am excited to show the progress of the Oscar. I actually haven't seen the tank myself in a little over a year, so Quinn has said that the cichlids got huge, and I can't wait to show an update on that, so let's go. Set up for 4 years now. It's crazy how time flies, but just to give a quick update on all the cichlids in here before we do the water change, and it gets a little dusty and cloudy with all the work that we're going to be doing. But the last cichlid that we put in here about 1.5 years ago was this Tiger Oscar, and he has clearly grown a ton. Not even 1.5 years, it's about a year of growth on this guy, and he's already reaching about 12 inches with some great color to him. Just shows how fast Oscars can grow, and this is no different. But we also have some of these guys that we have had in the tank since day one. So for instance, this big Texas cichlid, really big and thick. When we posted the original video, everyone was really worried that that Texas cichlid would be too aggressive for the rest, but they have really done well. He has grown from about 2 inches to probably 10 to 11. The other really big guy in here is the chocolate cichlid. And similar to the Tiger Oscar, we didn't put him in the tank until about 2.5 years ago, so he went from about 2 inches to just as big as the biggest in this tank at about 10 to 11 inches. And I love the chocolate cichlid, and they get great color. To me, at least, some people wouldn't say that's like super bright, but really awesome fish. We obviously have this Viejas and Spillum that is really, really good size and has put on some thickness to him. The Firemouth is one of the OGs we put in this tank 4 years ago. That's one of the bigger and thicker Firemouths you'll see. Some of the red pattern underneath him has kind of faded over the years, but maybe because he's not as dominant in this tank. He does have some really cool fin coloration with some of that blue and teal coming in. And then obviously the Jack Dempsey was one of the main things that Billy wanted in this tank, and he is looking good. He started to get a little darker over the last year or two since I've seen him. And then there's two cichlids that I actually had in my tanks for a while, the Rainbow Cichlid and the Nicaraguan Cichlid, which is a female. Since they've been in here, probably about 2.5 years, they have really done well. They both have put on some good size. The Rainbow Cichlid is the one that's a little more orange and brown, whereas the Nicaraguan female over there has kind of the teal face, the bright yellow eyes. Really glad that they've been doing so well in here. Also, the Geopegus spini, one of my all-time favorite cichlids, has really helped kind of clean the sand by sifting through it. That was another OG that we had in the tank probably 4 years ago, I think, on day one, and it has grown and really coexisted well in here. Sometimes they can be a little more skittish and peaceful compared to the boisterous Tiger Oscar or the Texas cichlid, but happy to see that it has done so well in this tank for that 4-year period. But I think we have a great group of cichlids here. Very happy to see how successful this tank has been. These cichlids would absolutely destroy any live plants we have in this tank, so that's why we have to come and do regular water changes to keep those nitrates low, and also to clean out the filters, which if you let them go too long, the canister filters, the flow in them will dramatically slow down. The last time Quinn was here, he cleaned one of the FX6 canisters, which had some slowdown in its flow and just needed a big cleaning. The other canister today is something that we are going to clean thoroughly, as well as a water change. You'll see that the sand has moved around a lot, as most big cichlids do. Anytime they're staking their territory or just want to move things around, they'll always do that. But want to get to cleaning the tank now?
Well, let's do it. So we have these different tubes that allow us to do a water change up in this 3rd floor office. So we don't have a direct connect on a sink to connect to Python. So what we did is we connected the Python tube to this larger one. So when we're draining the tank, I'm just going to move this into the shower, put it down the drain, just like that. So it's just perfectly going to go down the drain. Won't dirty up the shower too bad. Then to get the water out, we had the Cichlid Ultra Zero pump. So we just screwed the other end of the Python into this.
And this is the same pump that I use on my big tanks to make sure they drain quickly, but it's also nice just to have it for this big 180.
Yeah, does a good job. Put that right there. And then all we have to do to drain it is plug it in. There it goes.
See the water start draining, and this will probably take, what, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops?
20, 30 minutes.
Yep.
The water is a little cloudy right now. Not necessarily cloudy, but I mean, there's some tannins in there that we'll probably do a little bit more water change than normal here. So, yeah, pretty easy. So as it's draining, this is a really good time to clean the glass, clean some of the decor, so that anything that you are getting off the glass will then come out with the water change. So it helps the filters a little bit too. It's always a good way to do it. Also a good thing to do is, if you look from the side, you can kind of get a better idea of what parts of the glass need cleaned or have been cleaned.
Yeah, because like looking at the front panel doesn't look too bad, but then if you look on the side, you can see a clear haze right here and a very much cleared area where Quinn has already started to work. So definitely a good idea to always use the flipper if you want the crystal clear water on top of just keeping everything else clean. And while we do this, all these big cichlids will be pouting in the back. Cleaned FX6 is kicking up way more than this one on the other side. And here's the fun part, getting your workout in heavy canister. And then we just move it into the bathroom, into the shower area, and use the tank water to rinse out all the media down into the drain. Thanks, Quinn. The hard job of this completely caked in dirt and filth FX6, and we have the tank water draining right into the drain, but we can use the hose to rinse off all the filter media to make sure we're not killing off any of the beneficial bacteria.
This is the glamorous part of the gig.
So dirty.
A lot of fish poop. And don't worry guys, we clean the shower after. Alright, so as Troy is cleaning the FX6, I do like to keep the other filter on. I just think it's good for aeration and continued water flow. But as he's been doing that, I've been cleaning the glass, including the back glass here. So I was using a little wand right here. It is a lot of work and it's very awkward work.
The flow has increased dramatically just from that cleaning, so this goes to show you what happens when you clean your canister.
So ideally I come here every 2 weeks, but also I rely on the Donovans to just communicate with me, hey, the filters are not flowing very well or the tank's looking a little dirty, can you please come over? So I live about 15 minutes away in the same city, so it's pretty easy and regular to get over here, and overall I enjoy kind of having this tank as part of my own, and it's very similar to my own because all mine are not where I live, it's in my classroom, so all of my tanks are kind of remotely around Chicago. Uniquely equips me to be good at this. We're doing something similar with one of the other Bulls assistant coaches, Damian Cotter. He's kind of just on call if ever needed, because one thing that we have learned, NBA coaches are very busy people and they are often out of town. So we're happy that when Billy gets home after a long day, he can enjoy a nice clean aquarium.
All right, we're almost done filling her up, and as we expected, it's a little bit cloudy because we just kicked the filters back on, but after a couple hours, this will be crystal clear. Also, we have the Cichlids Extreme SDC Wave Maker here, which is really great for surface agitation and flow in the tank, but even better is the Cichlids app, where Quinn is able to monitor not only the temperature, but if anything needs maintenance. It's a really convenient thing to have, especially if you are working remote.
Yeah, it is very clutch because anytime it gets out of the temperature range, it lets me know. And say there would ever be a power outage, which for fish keepers, you know that that's a doomsday scenario. It'll send me an alert right away that it is not connected to the Wi-Fi. So I will get a hold of Donovan's and see what the deal is and make sure that we do have power and all the cichlids are safe.
But we're almost done, but Quinn's going to finish up here. I have to hit the road because I'm a little further away. But Quinn, you're going to send us a quick clip of the tank when it's full?
I got you.
All right. We'll see you guys.
We are all done here, and the tank is completely clean. Both FX6s are cleaned and really, really flowing good. And you can see that the fish are enjoying it. They are out and about. Look at that chocolate. Nothing like an aquarium after a deep cleaning like that. Absolutely love it. So thanks for sticking around, guys. We'll give you an update on this tank as soon as we can. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.